Salve, salve todo mundo! Terça-feira, dia de Wrexham. Temos convidado especialíssimo hoje, né? Além do Anthony, né? Anthony também especial, né? Não vou tirar aí essa especialidade, né, do Anthony, mas temos também Jason Roberts. Jason is with us from United Kingdom, from Wales, straight from Wales, Wrexham supporter, to talk to us about the game, about Wrexham in general, about the team, everything, guys, everything. Então é isso aí, galera. O Jason tá com a gente, vai falar sobre Wrexham, falar sobre a vida dele na cidade de Wrexham também e mais coisas. Jason, please say hello to everyone because we're starting this live right now. How are you?
Hello, I'm really good. Thank you, Lucas. Thanks, Anthony, for having me on. It's a real pleasure and honor to feature on your show. As I said to you when you extended the invite to me, I said, "Why do you want me on? I'm just your average fan. I'm no different than anyone else." But you were insistent, so here I am, and here we are.
Man, you're not just anyone else. Like you have like some history, some stories that you've told, and all the games you've been. It's just like I really enjoy meeting you. You met me and my girlfriend that day in Los Angeles. No, actually, it was San Diego, right? It was a Princess Pub, and yeah. we have some pictures that we will show soon. Então, galera, eu conheci o Jason em San Diego quando a gente tava fazendo pré-jogo do jogo Wrexham contra o Manchester United, e ele, além de saber da comunidade Wrexham Brasil, ele já foi em cada jogo que vocês simplesmente não têm ideia. Ele já foi, por exemplo, em 2013, na final da FA Trophy, entre Wrexham e Grimsby Town, ele estava lá no Wembley. Ele já foi, ele estava no jogo contra o Boreham Wood, logo depois que o Wrexham conquistou o acesso da National League para a League 2, ele estava naquele jogo também. A gente vai mostrar fotos. Jason, I was telling everyone that you have sent some pictures that we'll look all of them later. We'll take a look at them. As of now, we have the lineup in our screen. We also have Thales joining us. Thales está entrando aqui com a gente. Gente, é a primeira vez que eu faço isso, um programa com pessoas que falam português e inglês. Eu vou falar em português e inglês toda hora. So, Jason, I'm telling everyone that this is the first time I do a show that we have people speaking Portuguese, people speaking English. So, in my head, it's kind of confusing too, because I'll be talking in English with people that doesn't speak English. I'll be talking Portuguese with people that doesn't speak Portuguese. But I hope everyone can understand what I'm talking about. But what we will talk about now is the lineup. We have the lineup in our screen. A gente tem aí escalação na tela, galera. Então a gente tem, ó, Okonkwo no gol. Essa defesa aí com Hayden, Tozer e o O'Connor improvisado ali nessa linha da defesa. No meio campo a gente tem Jacob Mendy, James Jones, George Evans, Elliot Lee e James McLean. James McLean continuando, né, na equipe, só que do outro lado do campo, né, no lado direito. E no ataque temos a dupla, né, que é normal a gente assistir, né? Ollie Palmer e Paul Mullen. Antes, né, de Anthony e Thales derem os seus palpites e os 50 centavos sobre a escalação, queria que o Jason falasse um pouco sobre a escalação. Jason, we see that we have a few changes from the last game. We see O'Connor in the back line instead of Boyle. We see Mendy in the left side and McLean being changed to the right side of the field. And we also see James Jones and George Evans playing as a starter today. What do you think about this lineup?
Yeah, I'm not surprised he's made the changes he's had. I mean, Boyle's been dropped, and I'm not surprised he's had really, for someone that's played at such a high standard, he's probably had two poor games on the trot. The Stockport game, he was nowhere near where he should have been, and then Saturday, it was his fault probably for the I think it was the second or third goal. Yeah, it was probably he was at fault for that. So
internally, I just want to say, like we talked about the goals. We see that he had more fault in the first goal than on the third one, but we still think that he had a significant participation on the third goal.
I mean, he tried to block the player off, hoping that someone else would pick the runner up. But I got the feeling that he was the only person on the pitch who knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
That was my
it's communication
feeling. I
problem.
thought no one else really saw what his plan was, because he sort of went to deal with the ball and then sat off. But he's a top player, and I think he probably he's played at higher level. He's not shown us that at the moment at all since he's come to the club. I've been pretty uninspiring, to be completely honest. But I think I can understand why he's been dropped completely. And obviously the McLean playing on the right hand side, Mendy on the left. That's an enforced one, isn't it? Because of Barnett being out and Ford being out.
Yeah, that's true. Do you like how McLean has been playing the last 2 games as well? Because I feel like he has been doing a lot of defensive mistakes.
Yeah, I mean he's a top player again. He's got 100 international caps. He's a top player, but I think with him is that he's just had a couple of poor games, but he could probably play through it. I think as well we're short at wing back, aren't we? So, but no, I don't. I think he's had an absolute shocker at Stockport, and I think James McLean is the sort of player that would say, "Yeah, I wasn't good. I wasn't good."
Yeah, in the past game we talked a lot about. We think that McLean and Boyle doesn't have a good communication that left side, defender left side, because we see a lot of balls crossed behind McLean and up front Boyle. So in that third goal, Boyle blocks the striker, but he don't see that there's another one crossing behind him, and McLean doesn't follow that guy. So he's the player that made the goal. So we talk about this. I think they really need to be more communicated in the pitch, because they have quality, but they need to talk more during the games.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and that third goal, I think there's I think I saw 3 problems there. First was Boyle, right? Not communicating with McLean, because if he tells McLean that's what he's doing, McLean probably will have react faster in order to block that guy that comes for the ball. Also, we see Tozer not looking back. There's a guy coming right after him, behind him, and he's only looking at the ball. So that makes it really hard for him to see where that pass is going in order to cut and intercept the pass. So I think it was a lot of problems, but we need to fix those issues. That's the bottom line. Yeah. Então, galera, vou só traduzir aqui. O Jason falou que o Boyle e o James McLean são jogadores que têm nível alto, né? E nessas 2 últimas partidas, eles jogaram muito abaixo do que eles podem apresentar, principalmente o Boyle, né? Por ser um defensor, um erro do Boyle vai machucar muito mais, né, do que um erro do McLean. Se a gente pensar na teoria, né? Que ele é um defensor e o McLean do lado esquerdo, né? A gente sabe que um erro também nas laterais pode também acarretar gols, mas o Boyle aí tá na fogueira, né? Porque ele é o zagueiro e a gente tá tendo tantos problemas defensivos. Então ele não achou uma surpresa o Boyle estar no banco, né? Na verdade ele não tá nem no banco hoje, né? O Boyle não foi nem no banco hoje. E também as entradas de George Evans e James Jones por causa de atuações aí que deixaram a desejar, né? De Luke Young e também... tô tentando lembrar quem que era o cara que tava ali. No último jogo foi o Luke Young, o O'Connor.
Não, o O'Connor não jogou o último.
O O'Connor... Não, o O'Connor jogou contra o Stockport County.
Foi.
Foi o Luke Young...
No passado foi o George Evans, James Jones e Elliot Lee no meio.
Isso, então ele mantém, né, esse meio, né, do meio campo, né, essa parte central do meio campo, e só troca os alas, né. Então a gente não tem Anthony Ford, não tem McFadden, então a gente tá jogando Mendy e McLean.
Outra vez titular.
Sim, eu vou fazer uma pergunta. Eu quero deixar pro Thales também falar sobre a escalação, e aí a gente depois a gente fala também sobre o Oconco, e a gente chama o Jason também pra responder. O que você achou dessa escalação, Thales? Achou que essas mudanças aí bateram com os problemas, né? Você acha que essa escalação tá corrigindo problemas que foram apresentados na última partida? Como você vê isso aí?
Sendo bem sincero, conhecendo o Phil Parkinson, cara, não. Eu acho que, na verdade, está só poupando o Boyle, porque o Phil Parkinson sempre comete esse mesmo erro, não é? Ele sempre mete os jogadores, por mais que a gente tanto peça para que não coloque o O'Connor. Tipo, cara, a gente pedia tanto que ele isse pro banco, que, pô, que ele comprometia tanto, tinha feito aquele pênalti e tudo mais. E, cara, o Boyle, pô, ainda assim é dos melhores zagueiros do nosso time. Ainda assim, ele teve aquele jogo, também a gente não pode crucificar o cara por causa de um jogo. Pô, todo mundo vai ter uma noite péssima, não é? Ninguém é perfeito. E, cara, o Boyle só cometeu, pô, uma falha gritante nesse jogo. E, então, acho que eu discordo um pouco dessa crítica toda ao Boyle. Tá bom, tá certo, tem que descansar. Às vezes ele tava num ritmo muito pesado aí, tava sentindo já o peso. Então, bom, vai descansar. E acredito que pro próximo jogo, no fim de semana, ele volte, sem dúvidas. Conhecendo o Parkinson, sim.
Okay, Jason, Thales was telling us that I don't think that's that it's only his opinion, because we noticed that in the beginning of the season, Boyle was playing well. He was arguably one of the best players in the defensive back line, looking at all the problems that we have had. But I think it's surprising that this last two games he did this badly, thinking of how well he can perform. Do you think Wrexham has problems with the options that we have in the back line? What would you, if you had to choose the back line, who would you choose to be there?
At the moment, on form, if we went on form, obviously O'Connor's playing instead of Boyle today on that left, as a left-hand sided centre half, with one of the back three sort of central defenders. I think if you look at Tunnicliffe's stats from last season, they are unbelievable. I mean, he's an unbelievable defender. I think he made something like, I don't know, was it 30 odd appearances? And I think we only lost one game with him in there, because he's just an out and out defender. And I think we just need to stop conceding goals. So I would like to see Tunnicliffe in there. I think Tozer picks himself just because he's so important. And I think probably Hayden has sort of played himself. His recent performances, he hasn't been the worst of the back three. But his aerial threat is so good. He's so good in the air. I think I'd start obviously those three. Possibly, if I wanted to stop conceding goals. In the ideal world, if we were playing, if it's just like watching Brazil, I would go, I'd probably say Boyle at his best, Tozer at his best, probably O'Connell at his best. But, injuries and form and stuff like that, we just it's obviously not a selection we can make at the moment.
Yeah. And what do you think about Okonkwo on goal?
To be honest, I saw him on his debut against Newcastle, and
I didn't like it.
He gave me some frights now and again. He looked a bit shaky. I'm being polite, and bear in mind, as a Wrexham fan, I have seen some poor goalkeepers. But he didn't give me. He didn't fill me with confidence. Is the best thing. I thought on Saturday he did really well. His handling was good. His kicking got better through the game. He's a young player, isn't he? And I just think the more he'll play, the better he'll be.
Yeah, I believe so too. Especially for a goalkeeper, not having time in field, it really affects their performance. And you see the contrast between this last game and the first one. It was completely different. He did a really good save in the second half, which was really important for that game.
Yeah. And there's not another goalkeeper at the club would have made that save. Top bins, as we call it over here. So top corner. And it was like his arm was telescopic, wasn't it? He sort of made the saves fantastic.
He's very athletic.
To see him in there. I'd say the midfield probably picks itself just on Saturday. I thought George Evans was superb. James Jones got lots of energy, can get around the pitch, and obviously we
almost scored a goal.
Yeah. We know what we're going to get with Elliot Lee, and obviously the two lads up front again pick themselves all day long. at the moment.
Então aí, galera, a opinião do Jason, falando que ele viu, né, um contraste na atuação do Okonkwo do primeiro jogo contra o Newcastle, comparando, né, com esse último jogo contra o Crew Alexandra. Foi uma atuação bem melhor, né, do Okonkwo. A gente conversou também que o período, né, sem atuar interfere muito na performance do goleiro, e acredito aí, ele tendo mais chances, né, vai conseguir ter atuações cada vez melhores. E ele também falou um pouquinho sobre a defesa do Wrexham, falou que o Tunnicliffe é o zagueiro que tem as melhores estatísticas, se a gente pegar desde a temporada passada. Ele colocaria, inclusive ele falou que hoje, né, ele colocaria até o O'Connell no lugar do Boyle, porque não tá tão bem assim nesses 2 últimos jogos. Mas o Tunnicliffe, e ele falou o Tozer e o Tunnicliffe conseguiriam... o Tozer, o Rei... Peraí, acho que eu estou esquecendo, peraí. É o Tozer, Tunnicliffe e o O'Connell, que ele falou que estão num nível acima, que deveriam estar no time. Além disso, né, vou ver se a gente acha que a escalação do Mansfield. Jason, I'm gonna try to see if we have the lineup for Mansfield Town. I don't know if you know, but every Monday we see all the goals for National League. So there's a round on Saturday. There's 12 games on Sunday, on Monday night. We get together here and we watch all the goals, and it helps us seeing the players from other teams and also check who are the best players, best goals. It's always entertaining. We have someone asking if you are from Wales.
Of course, yeah. I'm sat here now. I live about 10 miles from Wrexham, from the centre of Wrexham, from the football ground. So it's about 20 minutes drive to Wrexham. But yeah, born and bred Welshman.
Nice. And while I look for Mansfield Town lineup, I will also see if we can get some of our pictures here. Oh, we do have... Actually, we don't have a lineup. We have a list of songs that will be playing in the stadium. Now, we do have the lineup. I'm kidding. So, we do have the lineup. This is Mansfield Town. Tá aí, ó. A escalação do Mansfield Town, galera. Tem um cara aqui, ó, que tem que prestar atenção. É o Caylor Dunn. Número 40. Jason, we've been noticing that Caylor Dunn, the number 40, is the guy to watch in Mansfield Town team. Do you have other players that you think it could cause Wrexham harm in this game?
Yeah, they've got plenty. It's a really good side. In fairness, I'm gonna be honest with you now. I'd take a point. A draw would be a good result tonight. Okay, they're unbeaten. And I know the result, the records are out there to be broken, but they're unbeaten so far. Davis Keeler-Dunn, number 40, is an ex-Wrexham player. So we had him pre-COVID. We signed him from a Scottish team. And I thought he was superb. He is he's probably Elliot Lee's position, sort of an attacking midfielder. Probably on the right-hand side, but an attacking midfielder. Scores goals, gets into those positions that can really hurt you. He's a very good player. Aidan Flint, the 14, the captain, centre-half, has come from, I want to say, like, it's the Championship or Premier League. He's a fantastic player again, played at highest level, be very, very good. Ollie Clark is a player that Wrexham have been linked with since the takeover, really. He's a player that we've been linked with quite a lot. He's a good player, good midfielder, keeps everything ticking over. We're going to have to be at our best tonight to get anything. They're a good side.
I know. This is a really hard game, and the sequence that Wrexham have is really complicated. Well, we had Stockport County, we had Crewe Alexandra. Now, today we have Mansfield Town, and next game we have Crawley Town away. So those are really hard games. Before this sequence, I was okay with 8 points, but now it's probably going to be 4 if we win today. Yeah. And
if we win today, Lucas, you know, it's a step in the right direction. But I think, you know, that the season's a long season, isn't it? I think that Phil Parkinson would probably take a point. Don't get me wrong, he'd love to win, but I think a point would be a really good point on the road tonight. If you got a draw there, that's solid.
I know. Então, a gente tá falando aqui, galera, que o jogo de hoje é importantíssimo, né? Porque é um time que tem aspirações igual o Wrexham de conseguir a vaga pra League One.
Sim.
E é um time dificílimo, cara. É dificílimo. Uma vitória hoje coloca a gente na direção certa. Lógico que tem que manter a sequência, né? Não é só ganhar hoje e relaxar. Mas, se tratando de adversário direto, né? Tem que levar com seriedade. E com essa sequência, né? Agora o Mansfield, depois o Crawley Town, que tá na segunda posição hoje. Cara, eu acho que 4 pontos seria o ideal, né? Nessa sequência de 2 jogos. 6 seria perfeito. Mas não adianta, né? Ficar só projetando. Tem que entrar em campo, tem que jogar bola, né? E parar de errar. O Wrexham tem que parar de errar para conseguir ganhar essas partidas com mais tranquilidade. Ou então vai ser mesmo essa emoção aí até o fim do campeonato, né? E algumas pessoas aí algumas pessoas aí não gostam.
Quem tem problema de coração vai embora. Até o fim da temporada.
Eu vou colocar na tela aqui algumas fotos. Jason, I'm going to share my screen with some pictures. We have some pictures of you here as well. We have some pictures of me at the bar that we've met as well. And let's watch a little bit. Galera, vou colocar aqui umas fotos de quando eu conheci o Jason lá em San Diego, no Princess Pub. Então eu vou abrir aqui, ó. E a gente vai passar rapidinho.
Paraíso do Wrexham em San Diego.
Jason, you remember this pub, right? Of course you do.
I do. I remember it well. It was where I met the excellent Lucas and his girlfriend. Yeah.
Então, esse aí é o bar Princess Pub, onde que tinha vários torcedores do Wrexham, quando a gente foi, eu e minha namorada, a gente foi em San Diego pra assistir. Vou passar aqui todas as fotos, né, pra galera ver. Isso aí é logo na entrada do bar. E aqui, ó, isso aqui é uma foto que eu tirei. Essa bandeira que vocês estão vendo lá no fundo ali, ó, Luxembourg Reds, é do Jason. Jason, this is the first time I've seen your flag in my whole life, and I didn't even know you back then.
Yeah.
It was a really, I love the atmosphere of the bar. A lot of Americans, a lot of Welsh people, and they all getting along. That was really nice.
Yeah.
Vou passar nas fotos aqui, gente, pra gente ver. Umas fotos até repetidas aqui. Mais uma, né? Tá aí, ó. Essa é a foto que eu tirei com o cartaz Welcome to Wrexham lá. Essa aqui também tá duplicada. Esse aí, ó. Eu assinando um termo, né, de responsabilidade, de termos e condições, porque eu gravei um depoimento pra série. Não sei se vai aparecer nessa segunda temporada. Provavelmente não. Deve ser pra terceira. Temos aqui uma foto. Aí, ó. Esse cara aqui da esquerda, o nome dele é Chance Bostic. Ele é o cara que se vestiu de... Não, peraí. Eu vou... Jason, Chance is the one on the left, right?
No, so the guy with the Wrexham shirt on and putting the thumbs up with the hat on, that's Jason.
Jason,
So
okay.
Guy's Jason, yeah, and he's from LA, and the guy in the white shirt with Wrexham on is Chance, and he's from LA. Yeah, and the guy in the middle with the Betty Buzz top on is a guy called Chris Ewing. He's from, I want to say, where's he from? He's from St. Louis. From St. Louis. Yeah.
St. Louis. Então aqui, ó, nesse lado direito aqui, do lado esquerdo da tela, né, do meu lado direito aqui, esse cara ele tava fantasiado de Ted Lasso e o cara de branco tava fantasiado de Coach Beard da série Ted Lasso. E também esse cara aqui do meio, né, de camisa vermelha da Betty Buzz, dos Estados Unidos. Mas, aliás, todo mundo aqui é dos Estados Unidos, mas esses dois aqui, né, esses dois do lado, eles estavam fantasiados de Ted Lasso e Coach Beard, eles fizeram um sucesso lá no Snapdragon Stadium.
I should tell you as well, Lucas, that Chance and Jason from Los Angeles came over for the Grimsby game a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, they used my season tickets to go in the ground.
Nice.
So, yeah, they had a great time. It was good to catch up with them.
Aí isso aqui tem que virar a cabeça de lado, né, pra assistir. Mas, enfim. E tem. O Jason aí falou, pô, por que minha foto tá desse jeito? Wait, why? I don't know what's going on. Acontece, né, nas melhores famílias. Estão aí, o Jason. Let me put the right, yeah. So this is Jason. Aqui, ó, essa foto aqui do Jason depois do jogo contra o Boreham Wood, galera. Então depois do Boreham Wood, jogo que o Wrexham venceu por 3-1, o Wrexham conseguiu acesso à League 2. E tá aí, ó. Essa foto foi tirada logo depois.
Great times. Great times. That's my son Owen with me. Owen's at Mansfield tonight. He's managed to get off, but work kept me here, kept me at home late, so I couldn't go to the games, but Owen's there tonight representing us. Hopefully he's got his voice and he can cheer the lads on.
Nice. And we have someone asking you a question.
Okay.
And you already answered this question. If you were born in Wales. Yeah, Jason is born in Wales, guy. And you are from Wrexham. Yeah, born and raised in Wrexham.
About 10 miles away. About 10 miles away. Small village.
10 miles away. 10 miles away from the racecourse ground?
Yeah, 10 miles away from the racecourse ground.
Então 10 milhas, né, do estádio Racecourse Ground, 16 quilômetros, para ser mais específico aí para vocês. Então tá aí essa foto contra o Boreham Wood. Isso aqui foi em San Diego. E, Jason, this guy here with the gray shirt, isn't he the founder of Wrexham, Texas, something like this?
He is. Tony's an ex-Wrexham professional footballer. He was there in the 90s when we were in League One. He came through the youth system and he got a bad injury. He ruptured his Achilles, and he's now a coach in Fort Worth in Texas, and he's the founder of the Wrexham Texans.
Nice. Então, galera, esse cara de cinza aí, ó, ele é o fundador do Wrexham Texans e ele é o ex-jogador do Wrexham. Ele já jogou pelo time, ele teve problemas de lesões, mas aí ele mudou para os Estados Unidos e hoje ele trabalha com esportes, né? Mas é o fundador do Wrexham Texans, então ele também foi para Los Angeles e San Diego. Did he go to both games or did he only go to San Diego or he went to Los Angeles as well? He went to all of them.
No, only San Diego, Sony.
Only San Diego, okay.
Yeah, only San Diego. The guy in the black shirt is a bit of a legend in Wrexham as well. So the guy on the right hand side, his name's Andy. He has missed 7 games, friendlies, whatever, in 45 years.
What?
Seriously.
That's insane.
He goes everywhere, home and away. He's missed 7 games in 45 years.
Galera, vocês não acreditaram. Esse cara de preto aqui, ó, do lado direito, o nome dele é Andy. E ele também é uma lenda em Wrexham. Em 45 anos, o cara só perdeu 7 jogos. E ele tá falando aí, ó, contando amistoso, jogo... Pô, nem sei se deve contar jogo treino, né? Porque tem jogo treino que as portas são fechadas. Mas amistoso, jogo de pré-temporada. 7 jogos o cara perdeu. 45 anos. Jason, how many games do you think he went in 45 years?
Oh, I'm... So, with cup games, you're talking 46 games in a season, plus cup games. I don't know, 50-odd games, aren't you? In that, say 50-odd games in a season, average, plus all the pre-season games. That's including pre-season friendlies. I wouldn't like to get... My maths isn't that good, mate.
My maths here says 2,475 games.
Probably. I mean, he's a great guy, and you know what? He's one of those faces. You could go anywhere to watch Wrexham and you just bump into Andy. Yeah.
Tá aí. Aí, galera, se um dia vocês forem no Racecourse Ground ou num jogo fora de casa, vocês provavelmente vão ver esse cara aí, ó, porque ele só perdeu 7 jogos nos últimos 45 anos, pelas nossas contas aqui, o cara foi em cerca de 2.475 jogos, né? Nos últimos 45 anos. O que é jogo para um caralho, né? Nossa, é jogo demais. Tá doido. Então aí, ó. Guarda essa cara aí, porque provavelmente vocês vão ver ele no estádio e você pode falar, pô, você é uma lenda em Wrexham. Reconheço você. E tá aí, ó. Foto com o Ted Lasso e o Coach Beard, né, dos Estados Unidos. Esse... Jason, this game was against Grimsby Town?
Grimsby Town, yeah.
Yeah. Esse foi...
Stadium's empty there. So, for anyone that ever visits a stadium, there are sort of 8 hospitality boxes, and we were in a hospitality box for that. So, and we managed to sneak out and take a photo of, obviously, the ground completely empty. At that point, so just above us, is the owner's sort of box. So at that point, Ryan Reynolds was there. He just walked across the pitch and walked up to his seat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're talking about this part here at the top?
And all the rest of it. He's a lovely guy.
You're talking about this part here on top
So
that
just
looks like a
above
cabin?
there, no, that's the roof. But directly above where we're stood is the balcony of
okay.
the owner's box. So we get a great view of the owners. If anyone, when anyone turns up, we get a grandstand sort of view of them.
Então, galera, tá aqui, ó. Essa foto foi tirada no jogo contra o Wrexham, contra o Grimsby Town. E esses caras aqui que estão com essas faixas do LA Galaxy, ambos são de Los Angeles, né? O que tava na foto, que eu tirei também com eles. Eles estavam fantasiados de Ted Lasso e Cold Beard. E o que ele tá falando é que na parte de cima, né, que vocês estão vendo aqui, acima, né, dessa superfície que tá aqui, acima deles, é onde fica o camarote do Ryan Reynolds, do Rob McElhenney, quando eles levam famosos, né, como já levou o Paul Rudd, o Hugh Jackman, Will Ferrell, é ali que eles ficam assistindo as partidas. Pô, muito da hora aí. E tem mais uma foto aqui também.
Camarote presidencial, não é?
Sim, esse aqui também foi Los Angeles. Aí, ó, tem até a foto aqui, o Wrexham Texans, que é o fundador aqui logo do lado, na esquerda. E eu tô vendo essa cerveja que estavam... Daqui a pouco eu vou abrir uma também. Jason, I think the picture that I'm missing here is the one that you took at Wembley.
All right.
I'm gonna pull up right now. Give me 1 second. I think I have it here.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I have other funny pictures here as well. Let me pull them up here. 1 second. There we go. I need to add them to this folder. Hopefully it will work. It might not. Okay, let me do this here. Ok. Tá indo, galera. Daqui a pouco aqui a gente vai ver as fotos. Aqui, ó. Temos aqui... Qual que é? Ai, caralho. Eu vou colocar primeiro essa aqui, ó. This one, Jason.
Yeah.
I think people will have have a hard time finding you in this picture. If you didn't tell me where you were, I probably wouldn't have found you. Mas aqui, ó, o Jason tá aí, galera, ó, no lado direito superior da tela, tá vendo ali? Todo o entusiasmo dele.
That was a long time ago, pre-takeover. So before we had the Hollywood owners and all the interest in the club, and there was a team in the National League at the time called Braintree Town, and it was probably the worst ground stadium I've ever been to. But they were in our league for a couple of years, and I think the first time we played them, we lost there. And then the following season, we went back and we won 1-0, courtesy of that man there, Sean Pearson, with a header. And he scores it there, and like you say, you can just see me and my son, top right-hand corner. So
I like the enthusiasm.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. I mean, I think it was a late winner, you know, so they're always better, aren't they? Yeah.
Were you shouting at someone or were you celebrating a goal?
Celebration. That was him. That was him running away celebrating. So we were all, it was a celebration. Yeah.
Nice. Because sometimes we score a goal and then we want to rant about something, right? When you score a goal and say, "Oh, go fuck yourselves, we're the best." So it happens. It happens.
You know, it's funny, isn't it? It's someone asked me when we were in America. One of the Americans asked me, like, "Why do you always say?" Because I think it's like when we celebrate, it's very often we say, get in there, sort of thing. And it's like, so a lot of the Americans were like, why are you shouting, get in there? And we were like, look, you've got a lot to learn. It's just what we do.
We have a lot to teach to Americans in this area, because they don't think, they don't know how to cheer.
No, really, the worst thing is when you're at the stadium and everyone's yelling, defense, defense. This is the saddest thing I've ever seen in any sport. Nobody should ever do that. But that's how they do it.
You know what? They come there, they're enthusiastic, and they come and you know, they get behind the team, and yeah, they're good. They're really good. They're great company.
Yeah, we have someone asking, when was the last time you've been to the racecourse ground?
So Saturday. Yeah. So we played on Saturday, didn't we, Crew? Yeah, I was there Saturday. And yeah, I was there on Saturday. Yeah, it felt like a win. You know, it was a draw, but it felt like a win. Just getting a late goal like that felt like a win.
Yeah, we know that feeling. It felt like a win to us too, just like that game against Swindon Town.
Yeah.
But when you look,
4 minutes, we could have gone on to get the winner. I think we were completely on top. A bit more time, we could have gone on and got the winner.
Yeah, even with 10 men, we played better.
Yeah.
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 Então tá aí a resposta do.
The sending off seemed to bring us to life.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about that game too. Então o Jason aí respondeu, né? A última vez que ele esteve no Racecourse Ground foi nesse jogo, o último jogo contra o Crew Alexandra. Ele vai em todos os jogos. Jason, just one question. You are a season ticket holder, right?
I am, yeah.
Então ele tem o ingresso para a temporada toda, então todos os jogos no Racecourse Ground ele vai. Inclusive os amigos que foram lá de Los Angeles, eles foram através do plano de sócio dele. Ele conseguiu um outro ingresso através de um outro contato que ele tem, mas ele realmente como é que fala? Né? Disponibilizou, né, a carga que ele tem disponível para os amigos de Los Angeles conseguirem no estádio. Let's go to the other photo here. This is 2013, right, Jason?
It was the FA Trophy when we played Grimsby, me and my son Owen. I think that was just after we'd won. If you notice that there's one side, that side we can see the ground is completely empty, because that was the Grimsby side of the stadium, and they didn't hang around to see us lift the cup for some reason. They didn't come and celebrate with us. So yeah, but you know what? We've been to Wembley. Sort of how many times now? 4 times, and we've had 1 win and 3 defeats. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not bothered about going again. It's not a great experience for us. We haven't got much.
Tá aí o Jason falando, né, que nesse jogo aí foi a final contra o Grimsby Town em 2013. O Wrexham venceu nos pênaltis por 4-1 essa partida. Ele tava nas torcidas do Grimsby e ele tava ali estranhando, né, porque a torcida do Grimsby não quis ficar pra comemorar o título, não, né? A torcida do Grimsby foi embora mais cedo, né? Ele tá ironizando, né, a torcida dos caras. E ele falou também que ele já foi em Wembley 4 vezes, perdeu 3, ganhou 1. Ele falou que não tá muito animado pra ir no Wembley na próxima vez, não. Não é um estádio que traz boas memórias pra ele. Mas espero aí que a gente consiga ir de novo ao Wembley, né? E pelo menos pra trazer novas lembranças, né? Novas memórias. And we have a question about food in Wembley for you, Jason. Is food in Wembley cheaper than the racecourse?
No, it's not. No, no. The food in Wembley is very expensive. Yeah, very expensive. The racecourse is cheap. You know, in comparison to the stadiums in the US. I don't know about Brazil. I'm guessing the food in Brazil. I'd imagine the food in the stadiums in Brazil is probably cheap. But in comparison to the US, and Wembley, Wrexham is cheap. You know, you can get food.
I would say in Brazil, it used to be cheaper. Now, if you go and you spend, well, you spend in reais, you have euros or pounds. If you go to Brazil, it's going to be really cheap. But someone that has the average salary in Brazil, it's not that cheap. But for us,
No.
coming from outside, going to Brazil, it will be cheap.
Yeah. I completely understand that. I mean, I was surprised that in the US it was so expensive. I thought the food. Wembley, you're looking at a Budweiser is about £8. So
That's a lot.
what's that? It is. It's about $10.
Yeah, that's a lot, man.
What?
Well, I paid $12 on a cup of gin and I don't know what else was, gin and something else. But yeah, it was too expensive. I can't believe it's that expensive.
Yeah,
But
drink all around Wembley, it's expensive. You're going to get ripped off there. Yeah, it is expensive. Whereas, you know, the race courses, we haven't forgotten. Hopefully, we haven't forgotten where we've come from. It's, you know, it's not super cheap, but it is quite reasonable. I mean, you can get a box of fries for sort of £3, say so. Yeah, about $4.50. It's relatively cheap.
yeah, and
You guys can drink alcohol in the stadium.
You can, so long
no,
as you're
in
not
Brazil,
In Brazil, we cannot.
at all.
we used to be able to, but
Yeah.
then the government changed the laws because people fighting. You know, they always blaming something else other than the people. So if people used to bring flags and they forbidden flags because people was using flags to hit other people, and then
Yeah,
people
because
drink
of
too
this
much
cheap
and they
stuff.
get into fights. So they forbid alcohol in stadiums. They don't forbid the people. They forbid the things that people are doing before they get into fights. There was once that a guy got a toilet from the bathroom and threw away. And he hit someone. I don't know why they didn't forbid bathrooms. That should be the next action that they should have done. But in Brazil, things are weird. There doesn't follow any logic.
No. The logic in the UK is similar. There was obviously a lot of hooliganism in the 80s, and they banned the sale of alcohol in the grounds. Well, not in the grounds. You can buy beer, but you're not allowed to drink within the view of the pitch. So you can drink it in the concourse. You can't take it to your seat.
Oh, really? Is that every
Yes.
stadium?
Yeah, I would say probably. Yeah, I mean every stadium. That's the law. The stadium laws are you cannot drink within the view of the pitch.
Tá aí, galera. Não sei se vocês sabiam. Eles liberam, né, o consumo de bebidas no estádio, mas você não pode beber assistindo a partida, né? Então, acho que quando chega numa parte ali onde você tem visão do jogo, você não pode passar com bebidas a partir daquele ponto. Se eu entendi bem. Você entendeu isso também, Anthony? Foi isso, né?
Sim.
É.
Here in Brazil, they don't sell no alcohol beer, so no one's buying it. And
I remember in 2017 when I went to Arena Corinthians to watch Corinthians against Palmeiras, and I got tickets for the VIP area, the VIP zone, whatever they call it, but they were only selling. Well, I think they were selling alcohol before. Yes, 1 hour before the game, and I think after the game.
1 hour after the game.
Yeah, so
That is a space that you can stay for a while. So it's basically it's like this rule in England. So you cannot drink alcohol watching the game. So, but they don't here in Brazil. I think they cannot force the people to not go to the stands. So they stop selling 1 hour. The game starts and starts selling again after the game.
And in Brazil, Vitor is telling us here, we have a big cup of beer, and in our currency, it's 10 Brazilian reais. But for you, Jason, it's gonna be like 1.75 pounds.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And it's a huge cup of beer.
Yeah.
So you have a reason to go to Brazil now.
You know what? It's on the list. Let's hope we do pre-season there, yeah, next year. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
If you buy the beer out of the stadium, in the area of the stadium, you will spend less than a pound to a beer.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if the closer you get to the stadium, more expensive you'll get. But it's gonna be like £2.50. You know, like two.
Yeah.
It's not expensive at all. Anyway.
I mean, it's quite, inside the ground in Wrexham, it's quite cheap. It's about £4.50 for a pint. For a large beer, I don't think that's too bad.
That's pretty good. And that's you, Wembley, 2013.
That's my nephew Dean. He's a lot older now and's got less hair, but yeah, obviously see I haven't changed at all in 10 years. But yeah, that's my nephew Dean and my son Owen. Little Owen there is now 22. So yeah, it was a while. That was that was the one relief of being in that league. We had a little bit of, that was a great day out and it was a great win, but we missed out on promotion in the playoffs just after it, and it sort of ruined the season, if you like. But it was an amazing day out. Amazing day out.
Yeah, and that was your first time in Wembley?
That was the first time Wrexham had ever played at Wembley. Yeah.
Oh, and then since then, no more wins. That was the first win.
First time, the only time we won, and then every time after that, we've been garbage whenever we've turned up there. It's all like, it's a bit of a bogey ground. It's not good.
Então, o Jason tá falando, né? Essa foi a primeira vez que o Wrexham jogou na história em Wembley, 2013. Então eles foram lá, o Jason foi lá, eles ganharam. Depois eles foram mais 3 vezes, só que perderam as outras 3, né? Então trazendo aí informação completa aí pra vocês. Vamos ver aqui a próxima foto. A gente tá terminando já a foto, a gente vai ver. Jason, what's the history behind this photo?
So that's my nephew. That is my sister's son, Dean. He's about 33 now, so that was quite a few years ago. I would say that's probably about 16 years ago. And that was an open day at the ground where they used to open the ground up every year. And you go there and you could visit and you could meet the players.
Oh, nice.
And we just went for the day. And that photo sat on my mum's mantelpiece above her fireplace, pride of place, in her living room for many years. And yeah, it's just, the ground, obviously that stand in the background is the stand I've got my season ticket in, the Macron stand it's called. And it's just a special place. It's just a special place. So many memories, watching game with friends and family. And it is just a lovely place.
Então aí, galera, o Jason tá falando que essa foto aí foi tirada há 16 anos atrás. E nessa época, né, na verdade, nessa ocasião aí, eles estavam fazendo tipo um tour pelo estádio, pelo Racecourse Ground. A diretoria abre, né, as portas do estádio, então os torcedores podem ir lá conhecer a infraestrutura, conhecer os jogadores. E ele tá aí falando que essa foto foi com o sobrinho dele, e 16 anos atrás, 2007, é isso, 2007, cara. Pô, muito tempo atrás, hein? E essa aqui é a foto, a gente já viu, né? So I think we've seen all the pictures. We are finishing this in 9 minutes. I want to know if eu quero saber se a galera aí tem mais perguntas, né? Sobre Wrexham pro Jason. Pode mandar nos comentários também. Jason, we have Victor saying that we also have a big cup with whiskey and energy drink. So if you don't like beer, you can also get some whiskey. Always good. Yeah. And before we finish this, what I wanted to do is just to we can watch the highlights from the last game, and if people have questions in the meantime, I'll translate to Jason and then translate back to you guys. And now I'm speaking in English while I should be explaining in Portuguese what people should be doing. Galera, é isso. A gente vai assistir aqui os melhores momentos do último jogo do Wrexham contra o CLIQUE Alexandra. Tava falando em inglês aqui, explicando pra vocês o que a gente vai fazer agora. Mas, enfim. Eu vou daqui a pouco eu vou ler a pergunta do Eduardo. Mas, enfim, a gente vai assistir os melhores momentos da partida contra o CLIQUE Alexandra. E você, enquanto isso, né, pode mandar perguntas aí pro Jason. A gente vai traduzir, vou traduzir também a resposta.
Fazer uma perguntinha aqui, Lucas. Pergunta você aí pra ele o que ele acha do futebol brasileiro, se se ele acompanha, se ele conhece só a seleção, se ele conhece clubes, qual que é a imagem que para eles lá em Wrexham tem passado da atualidade. Assim, a gente vai saber que, sabe que nas seleções de Copa do Mundo antiga, acho que provavelmente conhece, mas vai de 5 a 10 anos para cá, o que chega lá de brasileiros, clubes ou seleção, jogadores e tal.
So we have a question for you, Jason. It's Anthony that's asking. He asked in Portuguese first, and he wants to know like what is the vision that Welsh people have about Brazilian soccer? Do they get news from Brazilian soccer like in terms of club level, or is it only at the national team level that you get news? How do you see Brazil in the global soccer scenario, football scenario now?
Yeah, I mean, I think we don't really get a lot of club info. There's not a lot of club info. I think we're heavily reliant in the UK on Sky Sports. So we don't really know a lot about the club level. We only tend to see or hear about it when something crazy happens, like you've shot a referee, or you've rioted and tore the stadium down or something. We only ever
have you heard? Wait. Have you heard about the guy who's a chairman and he bit a supporter's groin while getting to a fight? They were in a shopping mall. The supporters start yelling at this chairman. He got into a fight with his security guard and he ended up biting this guy's groin. Have you heard about this?
No, I haven't. But I know how enthusiastic you guys are. And I can imagine, I know South America, you can't generalize, but South Americans are generally very enthusiastic, aren't they, about their clubs? And I remember the Colombian player getting shot like a few years ago after like he made a mistake or something.
Mm-hmm.
So
I remember that.
Club level, we only hear that. And then national team, all your best players like tend to play abroad, don't they? Tend to play in Europe. And I think that's where the limitation. And then you've obviously you guys like this, don't you?
Yeah.
The original.
We have a couple.
We love
You've
that.
got a few of them. I mean, you're good, aren't you? You're quite good, the international team. So international team wise, whenever there's obviously when the World Cup comes around, we get to hear about that. And obviously the Copas to America, it's like the Euros version, isn't it? We get to hear a bit about that. But yeah, it's not massively broadcast. It's a shame because I'm guessing the football's got to be really good. There you go.
Yeah.
Eu tenho uma pergunta também.
Não, go ahead. Vai, pode, Stas. Vai.
Então, até só mandar um grande abraço aí pro Jason. Muito especial aí ter essa participação dele. Fico muito feliz. E, cara, eu gostaria de saber do Jason o que ele acha de Paul Mullin na seleção do País de Gales.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Então, I'm gonna leave the highlights here. Então, eu vou, antes de perguntar pro Jason, eu vou traduzir também, porque eu perguntei pra ele se ele ficou sabendo que o Marcos Braz é mordido na virilha de um torcedor, né? No shopping, né? Eu queria saber se essa notícia chegou lá no Reino Unido. Não chegou. Acho que foi uma notícia muito, muito diferente, né, pra chegar lá. Mas enfim, ele falou, né, que ele sabe da fama do Brasil, né? Mostrou ali a taça da Copa do Mundo. Sabe que a gente devia estar entre os melhores, mas eles confiam bastante. A palavra não é confiam. Eles dependem bastante, né, de ter informação através da Sky Sports. E a Sky Sports não é uma emissora que cobre o Brasil assim tão incessantemente a ponto de trazer informações assim a todo tempo. Então ele acaba sabendo notícias do Brasil quando acontece uma coisa bizarra, né? Quando um juiz atira no outro, quando alguém corta a cabeça do juiz. Eu tô tentando até lembrar um caso específico que ele falou, que não vou conseguir lembrar agora, mas enfim, não chega notícia assim tão fácil pra ele.
É o caso ele falou na América do Sul no geral, quando
o do colombiano.
Escobar lá, eu acho, né? Não lembro o nome do cara que era na Copa de 94, que ele fez
isso, perdeu o pênalti.
Voltou e morreu, sei lá, mataram ele.
Agora não tô lembrando se ele perdeu o pênalti ou foi um gol contra, mas realmente, né?
Contra.
Quando ele chegou na Colômbia, ele foi assassinado, né? Realmente. We have another question for you, Jason. When are you going to visit Brazil?
Oh, wow, well, when the invite comes. When the invite comes.
Well, you already have an invite. Everyone's inviting you to come to the stadium, to have beers, whiskey.
Yeah, it all sounds
Pizza
good.
days.
So long as it doesn't clash with any Wrexham fixtures, yeah, I'm good. I'm all in.
There's another question from Celso, and he's asking, what is the most legendary game you have seen?
Well, so in the 80s, Wrexham, in the 80s and 90s, we used to be able to qualify for European Cup competitions if we won the Welsh Cup. So we would play in League 1, League 2, like Division 3, Division 4. And also we'd be invited to play in like the Welsh FA Cup, if you like. And the winners of that could play in the European Cup Winners' Cup, which meant that we played against Roma, AS Roma, Porto, Manchester United, and it was a knockout cup. And we drew a team called Real Zaragoza from Spain. And we played them in 1986, I think it was. And we played them away at their ground, and we drew 0-0. And we hit the crossbar in the last minute, and we thought maybe, it wasn't going to be our day, but the games were over 2 legs. And in the second leg, we played at home, packed racecourse, sort of 19,000 there. The most amazing atmosphere I've ever experienced at the ground. And the Real Zaragoza team, Real Zaragoza had qualified because they'd won the Spanish FA Cup, the La Liga FA Cup.
It was probably Copa del Rey.
Yeah, Copa del Rey. Yeah. So we played them, and no one gave us any hope. We were a Division 4 team at the time, and we were unbelievable. We were just so good. It was a brilliant atmosphere. They had to bring. They had Chilean internationals. They had an embarrassment of riches. This Real Zaragoza, and we ended up drawing 2-2 with them. But we went out on away goals because the away goals used to count double then. So we ended up going out on away goals. For the atmosphere and everything else, I mean, bear in mind, I've seen us play against Porto, against Arsenal, Manchester United, Everton. I'd say that game was something else.
Então tá aí, galera. Resumindo, né? O Wrexham, ele jogava ele foi convidado para jogar o Welsh Cup, e aí, nessa época, os times classificavam para uma competição europeia. Eu acho que talvez era o primeiro formato da Champions League, que era ainda
como que era isso?
Copa
da UEFA.
Era Copa da UEFA, isso. Era como se fosse a Europe League hoje, né? Então é isso. O Wrexham jogou contra o Real Zaragoza. Ele empatou o primeiro jogo por 0-0 fora de casa. E em casa, eles não conseguiram a classificação. Mas foi o jogo mais importante.
2-2 e foi eliminado com gol fora.
Isso.
Que naquela época também contava.
Com gol qualificado, né? Gol fora qualificado. Então essa foi o jogo mais lendário, né? Que... Pô! Jason, we need to finish this because we need to get into the game. You alright? I'm gonna send you guys the link. Eu vou mandar o link pra vocês. E aí a gente começa o jogo. Eu tô indo pra outra sala aqui já. I'm going to a different room. Jason, I'm gonna send you on your Snapchat, on your WhatsApp, the other link, okay? Alright, so I'm gonna finish this. We're gonna finish this, guys. E vamos começar a transmissão na comunidade Wrexham Brasil agora, hein? Então vou terminar aqui.